So we'll see if I did it right this time. This is another episode of Shoveling with Tommy, only today it is a balmy 2 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 16 degrees Celsius. Hold on one second. How's this for unprofessional? Sorry. Someone from the boat just texted me while I was doing this. The bell for notification I don't think is working, because I've got a couple of people that literally never miss the bell for notification, and I am not seeing any of them. However, since I started this, I am going to finish it. This, people, this crystalline winter wonderland is why I'm ready to move. 2 degrees. 2 degrees. You got any idea how cold 2 degrees is? That's when you breathe in through your nose and it wants to stick shut. Yeah, that's cold. That is really cold. So, to all of you who caught the morning video this morning, thank you. Those morning videos are really helping to become part of a lot of people's routine. Full of Hope left a comment that made a lot of sense to me. He said, she's not the kind of person that break habits easily. In fact, she doesn't think most people are. And I'll agree with you. I think most people don't either. I think it's easier to start a habit than it is to break a habit. Oh, baby, it's cold out. 2 degrees. Oh. So, I promise you, this is going to be a really short live feed. Because I'm going full speed. Hey, Empath Ninja, where's my hat? Of all of the days for me to have a hat on, 2 degrees Fahrenheit. But that hat didn't cover my ears anyway. And there is something to feeling alive when it is this cold. Because I'll tell you something, it is this cold. For you crazy foreigners who refuse to give up the metric system, it is minus 16 degrees centigrade. That's cold. But look at this. The snow gets all light, you know. Stay warm. Yeah, there's a lot of hope for that. You know how you stay warm in weather like this? You move to Florida. Or Arizona. Or the Bahamas. Normally I would say Southern California, but there were people in Southern California yesterday who were writing in and saying it was cold and rainy. And I'll tell you what, I'm done with cold. I really am. Whew. The blue sky, you know what? On days like today, I remember when I skied, the colder it was always, you know, the more beautiful that blue sky would be. This is definitely a beautiful sky. It's a beautiful day. It really is. But it's really cold. I mean, it's take your breath away kind of cold. And I don't... So I probably told the story on the boat before, but when I was young, I broke a ski while skiing, and the metal edge of the ski went through my glove, and it looked like a Nike swoosh, right? The broken piece of metal looked like a Nike swoosh, and it went into my hand through the glove, and that swoosh cut like a 360 degree maybe that's right. Cut like a 360-degree circle on the inside of my hand, and it severed the radial and the ulnar nerve. And so the hand that's currently holding the phone, I don't have to worry about getting real cold because I really only feel the pinky. The rest of the hand is very numb. But my right hand, on the other hand, my right hand is killing me. Yeah, so, all right, that's it. That's all I'm doing. See that? That is all that we're getting today, people, because it is unreasonably cold out here. But I wanted to pop on because I figure at this point, it's almost a thing, right? It's a snow this morning in Indiana. Oh, I'm sorry, Dawn, that stinks. But you know what? Yeah, it looks great. It looks good enough for me to back the car out of, right? The Prius back car right there ain't going nowhere. The Porsche I don't think is going to be doing a whole lot of. It's not going to make it out. The 911 doesn't like the snow a whole lot. It's going to be in there now for months at this rate. But the Prius, I've got just enough running room to get out because I've got 6 watches that have to go to the mailbox, and I have this status on 2 platforms where you sell enough watches and your customer service is high enough that you get some kind of a preferred status. It just means that they help you advertise more. But to get that status, you have to guarantee that, oh, my nose is cold, that you're going to ship product within 24 hours of the sale. And that's hard because on the weekend, you sell 6 watches and all of them then have to be packaged up and shipped. And I know this has nothing to do with sobriety, but the thing with vintage watches is if they sit for very long periods of time, that's why I've got that winder behind me, right? I put automatic watches on that. I've got like 15, 20 others upstairs, and I keep the automatics going. But the watches that aren't automatics, before I ship them out, if it's a 120-year-old watch, you have to tune it every time before it goes out. And then the person that gets it will continue to use it all the time, and it becomes a non-issue. But so I was up until like 3 o'clock in the morning tuning watches so that I could get them out. Squirrel will not set foot outside in this. She'll sit and cry at the door, and then I open the door and she puts one paw in the air like a pointer dog. You know what I mean? Like she's considering it, and then no, that's all there is to that. I lived in Colorado for a while. I lived in Boulder, Colorado, 1.5 million, 1.75 million years ago. I love Colorado. I really do. It's a great state. Yeah, if there's a place where it snows, I've been there. With the exception, I shouldn't say that. I've never been to Japan, and I've tried so many times, and there's always something that happens. Like, I mean, I've had tickets and been in the airport so many times. It's one of those places that apparently I was just not destined to go. Their competitions got canceled. Airplanes got canceled. I just could never seem to get there. M. Hunt, 2 degrees Fahrenheit. That bad? Yeah. I'd rather have 100 degrees than 2. It's just that I played in this stuff my whole life. You know what I mean? Like snow was always something to me that was, it was just fun. My whole life, skiing and even I skied way too long. I mean, competitively, I skied way too long. I competed until I was probably 30, maybe 32, which is like 110 for a freestyle skier. So, I when I moved out here, then I went away. I went to prison, and when I got out, it's like, I can still go skiing, but there's a part of me because of the addiction and all of that you try to go up and just carve some turns, and I'm like, I could still do a backflip, and I can't. I absolutely could land one. That wouldn't be an issue, but God forbid I miss one. You know what I mean? At my age, Johnny was talking about this the other day. I think I told the story on the boat, but I was bringing the trash out here last week, and it's not very steep, but my feet went out from underneath me, and I landed on my back, and the trash can landed on top of me. It was probably funny as heck to watch. It was not very funny to endure. And when I got up, it took 4 or 5 days. Do I fix old watches? Yeah, Don, that's what I do. I fix old watches. Yeah. So I landed on my back, and it was a nightmare. It really was. The pain that I got off of that. And, I played football. Johnny played football. And it's like you would get run into like that on every single play. People would stomp on you, you know, just unbelievable contact. Or skiing, you go out and you try to learn a particular trick. You try learning a 720 on skis, and you're going to fall 65 times in a day. We didn't have foam pits and all the things that they have today with trampolines. We just went out and, you missed and you'd come home and one entire side of your body would be black and blue from falling on it. And now it's like, now I fall down, now I hit the ground and I'm screwed up for a week. It's just my dad, Papa Scoville, used to say that getting old sucks, but it beats the alternative. Sounds like whatnot. Um, let's see here. Yes, I fix old watches. Don't send me if you have an old watch that needs to be fixed. Just send me an email. Send me a picture of what you got. Not only do I fix old watches, but I spent a small fortune to buy new old stock parts for old watches. Right? I have great grandpa's pocket watch and old Omegas. Oh yeah, Omega is one of my specialties actually. I have a very large collection of Omega parts. And that may not sound important, but Omega decided that they wanted people to get their watches repaired by Omega. Like there's no room for debate. So you can't buy an Omega part. It's just Rolex did the same thing. If you're going to get it repaired, you're going to get it repaired by them because you can't buy any parts. So you either have to buy an Omega watch and disassemble it to get parts out of it. Omega watches are really expensive. Or, God forbid a Rolex, right? If you've got a Rolex Submariner, oh, I'm not wearing one today. If you got a Rolex Submariner that's from the '60s, if you got to buy a watch to take apart to fix it, it's going to cost you $15,000 to $25,000 just to buy the watch, and then you got to do the repairs. So there was a watchmaker going out of business, and I bought everything he had. And these are parts still in the paper seals and plastic seals. I know this is boring, but plastic and paper seals going back to the early 1900s, and they're made in Switzerland. If you can get a part for a watch that isn't Rolex or anything like that, you end up buying parts from China. And with all due respect to those absolute lowlifes who are trying to destroy our country, sorry, not sorry. They don't make good watch parts. They don't make good watches either. They're terrible at that. The Swiss make great watches and they made really good watch parts, but you can't get them anymore. So I have a very big stash of it. And if you send me pictures of it, Dawn, I'll tell you exactly, what, and if some watches are really easy to take the back off. If you take a big blow up of the back of a watch, usually I can tell you if there's something that, how bad a repair we're talking about. And very often, if it's people on the lifeboat, especially if it's just, a lot of times people think watches are broken and they're not. They're just dirty. And that's with mechanical watches. And if it's just dirty, I'll clean it for nothing. That's no big deal. You take it apart and put it in an ultrasound and a cleaner and knock all the dirt and grime and stuff off and put it back together. I'm not going to charge anyone on the boat for that. So shoot me an email and send me a picture of great grandpa's watch. I love that. I have a counterfeit tag that my brother got me in the Middle East when he was deployed. That's the only watch I have. Well, then you need a new watch. You need a new watch then. If it's a mechanical watch, I mean, I've seen some fairly decent. Hey, good morning, Piper. I've seen some fairly decent counterfeit watches in the past.
Why don't you get them where it's warm?
Do you hear? That's Mama Scoville again. It's only 2 degrees. I'm good.
It's 8 degrees.
Oh, it's 8. See, that's balmy. There's no point even complaining at this point. I think Mama Scoville would probably prefer to be living in. Oh no, that's just mean. She just shut the garage door on me. Now I'm stuck out here for real. I've seen some counterfeit watches that have decent movements. As long as it doesn't have a battery in it, I think you're probably in pretty good shape. While he was deployed in the Middle East. Well, that's an unusual thing to bring back from the Middle East. I have met a lot of people, a lot of soldiers who brought back watches that had pictures of Saddam Hussein on them. There was actually there are a couple of guys online that really collect those, and they've gotten to be pretty popular. All right, people, I don't know how much longer I'm going to stand out here. There's something that makes you feel alive about being in weather this cold. And when you watch the snow come out of the trees, Like it's not huge amounts of snow falling. It's just a little bit of dusting, and it looks like diamonds. It really does. The camera will never pick it up, but it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It makes you not so bummed out that you're freezing. You know what I mean? I have a mosque alarm clock he sent me too. Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool, actually. I yesterday I went and looked at a um, a clock off a submarine, right? And it was off of a Cold War era Russian sub, and I want it so badly. Like I can't explain how bad I want this because I want to put it inside on the wall of the office. Oh, guys, you should have done that a long time ago. Poor prior planning. Poor prior planning. They should have flown south so long ago, and I'm not actually sure that's south. Yeah, I have no idea what direction that is. It's not one of my things. I'm not very good at it. It's freezing in Boulder City. Yeah, that's not good. So I want this. I want this clock from inside a Russian sub. I don't know that the guy's going to come off of it, but we'll see what happens. It doesn't have a battery. It's an old mechanical one. Piper Smith says, "Don't look up." Boy, that would have sucked, huh? I'll tell you what, though. You want the boat to get popular. That would have gone viral. If a bird took a giant deuce on my face while I was looking up, that would. I'm telling you, you can't buy that kind of publicity. All right, fam. I'm going inside. And the sad part is I'm going to have to run my hands under hot water for about 2 hours before I could possibly work on a watch. Because at this point, I don't see these things doing what I want them to do. Actually, I'm just packaging them today anyway. But 2 degrees flew over here yesterday going west. Yeah. Zen Wen is in Arizona, right? So Zen, I could end up there. I'm not kidding you. It's really, really cold, and I'm going someplace warm. So I may end up down there. We'll see what happens. Flamin' Jackson, would that be the Reverend Flamin' Jackson? Congratulations, Jackson. I'm telling you, you were born for that, brother. You really were. I'm proud of you, man. Honestly, that's doing what you ought to be doing. I'm proud of you. That is so cool. That honestly is so cool. Flamin' Jackson has more love in his heart than anyone I've ever met. You talk about somebody that should be in the ministry. That's you, bud. 52 degrees in SoCal. Day 18. Brandon, you're a stone cold beast, man. I'm not gonna lie to you people. Like I said, every single time somebody stumbles and gets up, I believe this is gonna be the time. There was a stretch there, Brandon, where it was getting harder to believe that. And I'm not busting you because I did believe you every single time, but I think you got it. I really do. I think you're right in your wheelhouse, man. I think that you have figured out the equation. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You're past the 2 week mark, man. Honestly, when you get past the 30-day mark, you start picking up speed. You get a little bit of momentum at the back. It's like going downhill after a long climb. You know what I mean? So just keep doing what you're doing, Brad. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I can't explain it. All right, peeps. I'm going to give you the last view of the winter wonderland. Because look at the snow. Can you see it falling through the air? Probably not. That is absolutely beautiful. It looks like diamonds. There was a period in my life where I would have done nothing but complained about this. I would have come out and just, pardon me, but I would have come out and just pissed and moaned for the 40 minutes that it took me to do what I just did. That all I would have done was complain about it. But you know what? Every single day you got is a gift. And I'm not trying to sound like Tony Robbins again, but it's the truth. Every single day you got is a gift. Check this out. There's a little bird in the tree. See that little guy? Hey, bud. Oh, it's a cold day to be a bird. Tell you what, man, every day's a gift. All right, peeps, I am going to go. I would love some snow on occasion. I'll tell you what, I will mail it to you. You may have to reconstitute it because I have a feeling it would be a little bit liquidy by the time it gets to you, but let's see what we could do. After 3 days of snow, I'm done. Where's your beanie? My beanie doesn't cover my ears. So I really only throw that on to cover the top of my head when snow is going to land on. All right, peeps. I will be on the boat tonight. If you have not seen the morning video, and all of you have, I'm looking at the names, all of you have. But if you haven't, start watching that morning video. Not for views, but to change your life. And I'm not saying it because I'm cool, but when you get up in the morning and you get focused, right, from the very first jump street, the odds of you having a better day. Can you hear a squirrel?
You're not coming outside.
All right, peeps, I love you. I'll see you on the deck of the boat. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you're the world's best crew. Good night. Bye-bye. Good day.